Thank you. You noted that in his conversation with Defense Minister Gallant, Secretary Austin expressed concern about the dangers of escalation. Did he also speak to Gallant or warn Israel about the dangers of escalating the conflict should Iran retaliate, prompting a large-scale Israeli retaliation or strike on Iran? Is that something that was discussed, and if so, how?
Yeah, so we'll have a readout later today of their call. I'm not really going to go beyond what I said at the top, other than to emphasize that the Secretary highlighted that escalation is not inevitable and that all countries in the region would benefit from de-escalation. And I'll leave it at that.
If I could just follow
Sure.
up. You noted again that the Secretary talked about the dangers of escalation. President Biden said that the assassination of Haniyeh was were not helpful to the ceasefire negotiation process. Doesn't this bolstering of defense for Israel represent a kind of reward to Israel for destabilizing that very process that both the Secretary and the President are saying they want to continue?
No, I'd respectfully push back on that. What we are doing to bolster our capabilities is in the defense of Israel and by nature is defensive. So no, I wouldn't say that it escalates tension. In fact, some of the decisions that the Secretary has made since October 7th, you might remember we moved the Ford, the USS Ford Carrier Strike Group to the Eastern Med on October 8th. We moved the Ike soon thereafter to the CENTCOM AOR. These were all to project a message of deterrence. We certainly do not want to see this spread out to a wider regional conflict. We don't believe it has right now. We're going to continue to urge for de-escalation. And the best way for that to happen is for this ceasefire deal to come through. And so we can get American hostages out as well. But we believe that that would be the best way to de-escalate and, further lower tensions in the region. Louis, sorry, I thought I saw you over there.
Two questions.
Sure.
You noted that the commitment has been made by the President and by the Secretary. What is triggering those commitments?
I think you can point to events that have happened in the past week. Again, we don't want to see an escalation. We want to see things to de-escalate. And because of that, we are committing defensive capabilities to the region that I don't have an announcement of what those will be, but when we do, we will certainly read those out.
And the second one, you in this answer right here, you kind of spoke to it, but by making this public, isn't this just a deterrent as well?
Speaking from the podium?
Yes, announcing that there is a commitment that the Secretary will decide on force protection measures that have not been actually decided on yet, which is kind of atypical actually for this building to actually make an announcement like this. So therefore, I mean, is it your statement in itself a deterrent?
I mean, of course, we are, when it comes to messaging, we do things publicly and privately. So public messaging, we're very clear about the defensive capabilities that we are committing to the region and that we are going to bolster them because we don't want to see tensions continue to rise. We want to see a de-escalation. So if someone is watching this briefing overseas, I think we are being very direct in our messaging that certainly we don't want to see heightened tensions, and we do believe there is an off-ramp here, and that is that ceasefire deal. Once that comes through and once hostages are released, that's what we really want to see here. And we've said it from the beginning on, the next day following October 7th is we don't want to see a wider regional conflict. We don't believe we are there, and that's partly because we moved assets to the region that do project power and that also, I think, send a very strong message of deterrence. I'm going to go to the phones and then happy to come back over here. Howard Altman, Warzone.
Thanks, Sabrina. Can you confirm that the Air Force is going to be sending additional combat aircraft to the region in response to all this? And what kind of airframes? Can you tell me?
Yeah, thanks, Howard, for the question. I cannot at this time.